taking so long. I'm having some system issues here. It's
Yeah, no
seizing
problem.
up on me.
No problem.
Try to get back in here and just kick me out.
I'm the worst with technology, so I totally feel it.
It's horrible.
And it's not getting easier. Like, it's only going to get more difficult from this point.
Yeah, unfortunately. All right, let me try it again. Okay, and Ms. Pops, can you go ahead and verify for me your date of birth and your branch of service?
82280, Army.
All right, and I do want to thank you for that information as well as thank you for your service. How can I assist you this morning?
Yeah, so I was speaking with someone, I guess it's been a couple weeks now. I need to get my fiduciary removed. And I went through my VA, like, my VA hospital, and they told me I need to see an outside doctor. So I got an evaluation by an outside doctor showing that I'm competent to handle my finances. Like, it was all an error. I needed a financial advisor. Like, I wanted, like, somebody to show me what to invest in, not somebody to pay my electric bill. I pay all my bills were on time. But so to get him removed and to, I don't know, look at my eval. I emailed it. I was trying to see if anybody got it or how long it would take or what I need to do next.
Okay, so basically when you submit that request, if you currently have a fiduciary and you're submitting that request up, of course they have to do, whatever their investigative portion of it is. In addition to, if you're trying to, retain your competency status, then that's also that's of course linked with your medical documentation and things like that. So they would be gathering all of that evidence together as far as making that decision. But I mean, it is a process. It's a turnaround in that. So they have to receive all that information, and then from that point, you would be receiving something in writing, a notification of status, giving you, if they grant you your competency, or at this point, whether or not they did, in regards to what if they were able to remove that fiduciary or not. Because like I said, that's something that it has to go through the fiduciary department, and they have to make that determination based on their investigation into it.
Oh, I thought I called the fiduciary department. Is this
Right,
not the
you
hum?
did. But what I'm saying, right, but I'm saying, I'm looking at the documentation here
Oh,
in your file. But what I'm saying is still a process that has to go based on whatever the issues are or the concerns surrounding the removal of the fiduciary.
I'm not
The
incompetent.
you have a fiduciary over your funds right now.
Yeah,
Currently,
it's
you have a
for the
fiduciary.
last 6 months I've been trying to get him removed.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So the reason primarily you have a fiduciary is for the management of your funds.
Yeah.
So basically, they're saying, right, so they're saying that you're incompetent to manage your funds. So you will basically have to do what it sounds like you're in the process of doing with the medical documentation and things like that. But it is a process because that still has all that information is gathered, and it has to go back to the fiduciary department where they make that determination, and then you will be receiving something in writing notifying you of whatever that outcome is, if they're going to remove the fiduciary or also retaining your status with your competency so that you may not even need a fiduciary. But like I
Exactly.
said, that's a process, and and they have to make that determination.
So
So right now, I see, I see where that request was submitted in.
When?
So you have a request in here in November. It looks like November the 18th you call.
Okay.
Is
that the only request? Fiduciary. Is that the only request that's in there? Is November 18th?
That's the only one I'm seeing.
Huh. Okay. So then what happens?
And so at this point, I can do another request. Whenever you call, we're documenting your calls, and whatever your requests are, I have to forward that up to, give, so that they can forward it to the FedHub or the appropriate department that handles that.
Well, I thought that's who I called.
They can make that.
I'm confused. I'm sorry. So I go through
you call the FedHub.
Okay.
But this is the FedHub switchboard. So when you call into the FedHub, we have to, basically, I'm taking a work order. So that's what they did when you called in November for that request for the removal. So I'm going to do another request, and I'm going to make sure that I outline in here that this is your second request.
It's like
and so from that point, we're just basically taking the calls, and it gets forwarded up. So we have different divisions within our department. We just answer the calls.
Okay.
So I'm gonna forward the request up, and basically I'm gonna let them know that you've already done a request. I'm looking at the date, the November 18th date.
Well, I sent in 3 letters. I've sent in 3 letters at this point. I started sending letters in July. So I'm sure that's in there somewhere.
And that could be the case. And again, this is, like I said, all that information is gathered up within that department.
Okay,
so within the fiduciary department, the area of the department that makes that decision. Okay. So they're looking at that. They're weighing out whatever information they're getting, any medical evidence or whatever like that. So at this point, just because I'm not seeing anything in here, that does not mean that they're not working on it. But I can't see anything until they actually whenever they put an official letter or something like that, and it's scanned into the file. So right now I don't see any letters in the file, but that does not mean that they're not working on it.
So how do I find out if they're working on it?
You will get some kind of response, like I said, with the letter, because
I don't have a house.
Whenever they come up,
I don't have a mail address at this point, so now I just have to wait on a letter.
Well, you should have a mailing address.
I don't have a house. He hasn't paid rent. He hasn't paid my mortgage. My truck's probably going to get taken. I looked at my accounts today. He's not paid any of those.
So you're saying that your fiduciary is not making payments on your rent and things like that?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, so the number that you're calling me on, is this a good contact number for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And go ahead and confirm that telephone number for me.
It's 706-550. I have to look.
So a good contact number where they'll be able to, if they need to actually call you within the FedHub, which that's a possibility because they will need to reach out to you. So you want to give them a good number where they can contact you.
It's okay. I got it. It's 706-550-4836.
4836.
Yes, ma'am.
And are you currently homeless, or are you saying that you may be about to be homeless because he's the
I still own my home, but I can't live in it. I don't have any hot water. I don't have a refrigerator. I was in the middle of a remodel when they took control of my funds away. So I haven't been able to get anybody to come in and complete the construction, to install a hot water heater. I have 2 dogs that I can't just have them running around a construction zone. My boyfriend I was staying with my boyfriend, and then he didn't pay. The dude was supposed to pay rent, and then he didn't pay rent to Michael. So then Michael's mom said I had to find somewhere else to live, and then Michael the whole thing's just been horrible.
Okay, so right now at your current residence, you don't have. I'm just taking information down that I'm going to put in this work order. So when I submit this up, and I'm saying that this is a second call-in, because you may have written letters, but I'm just without going through the whole file. I'm going by the calls that you've made, because I'm going to be submitting the call up for follow-up on it. So I just want to make sure I'm getting all the information, the correct information. So you are currently residing in the house, but you don't have heat or hot running water right now?
I'm staying at my boyfriend's until the 1st. And then I won't be able to go. I don't know where to go.
Okay. But you're staying at your boyfriend's because you don't have the running water and stuff at your house.
Yeah, I have no hot water.
Okay.
I don't have a hot water heater. I have running water. It's just not hot.
What address could you be reached at? Like if the field examiner is trying to contact you, do you have a physical address? Where can you be reached at?
I could come to Michael's. It's 2479 East Avenue.
Okay, East Avenue. Okay.
Augusta, Georgia.
And
30904.
30904. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this information and this order submitted up, and let me ask you this: so, who is your fiduciary?
Augusta Fiduciary.
Okay, let me take a look at something real quick.
And he knows all this. He keeps saying that he won't pay rent because I own a house. Not everybody who owns a house lives in a house. You know what I mean?
Right. I understand. I'm just trying to let me look at your file here for a minute.
And then he sends me these like horrible emails and he won't answer my calls. I just quit calling.
When was the last time you tried to reach out to the fiduciary?
I emailed him yesterday and sent him my Navy Federal statements, my truck payment and so forth. And then last week I sent him my insurance and my electric bill. Like, he wants me to put all this, but I'm not switching any more bills over to him because I don't want to mix him up in my money anymore. Like, he made my mortgage payment late, so now all my mortgage payments have to be made with a money order, so that's another $22 a month. He wants me to switch over all my accounts, which is like another $5 a month for each account. Like, what he wants to do is just ridiculous. None of it's in my best interest. I'm more than competent to handle it.
So this is how this works, okay? So I'm just going to inform you, and you probably was already informed of it, but so whenever you have a fiduciary, of course, they are over your account. So being that they're over your account, they have to submit any and all. They're supposed to be reporting all of your expenses so that there is no reason why.
He has no idea what they are.
Electricity.
He's never talked to me.
But that's what I'm saying. That information, when they put this fiduciary in place, they're giving information on your basic your rent, your basic billings, your basic expenses. And then from that point, everything else is reported to the fiduciary so that they are aware of what bills you actually have, because all of these bills, they are paying out of your finances.
Oh, I know.
But they have to be privy, they got to be privy to whatever the bills are in order to be able to pay the bills.
Well, and I would have been fine with that, but he messed them all up in the first time, the first month, and then it got so diluted. Like, I didn't know what was going in or what was going out. Two people can't handle a checkbook, and he's not competent to handle mine. So I'm not going to sign stuff over to him. I'm not going to give him access to all my accounts.
Right, I understand it, and you most certainly you have a right to request another fiduciary.
I got you. No, I appreciate it. You've been really helpful.
In regards to but I mean, I'm trying to, like I said, that's your right. So you can always, at any point in time, request a fiduciary. They're there to help, in managing your money and stuff like that. Unfortunately, they do have full access of your account, and that's the thing, that they are supposed to be paying these expenses. And if, the investigative portion of it is that if they're being asked, to remove them, then they have to investigate and show that they're not taking care of you. Basically, they're not paying your expenses, or they're maybe not managing your money effectively. Mm-hmm. So that's a portion or part of that investigative part. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to forward this up.
And I'm sorry.
The information that you.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Was your name Tanya? Is that what you said your name was?
It's Tanya. That's correct.
So you're the first person to even tell me their name and to talk to me like a real person since I've called here, because I started calling. I started calling in July, trying to get him, saying I don't need this, remove him. So I mean, I would have thought, like the investigation would have started in July. Now it sounds like it's only starting in November.
Well, and it can, like I said, when manners of this, proportion go into effect, if you call and you give us the information here in the call center, we pretty much call switchboard for the Fit Hub.
Mm-hmm.
So they in turn submit this the information I'm going to give them. We forward that up, so they get it to the correct department, whether it's misuse department or whatever the department is. They get that information over to them, where they will in turn they make that determination on if the fiduciary is not being effective, not being effective for you in managing your funds, and they can do a replacement of them. But like I said, that can and they are, unfortunately, they are backed as far as not necessarily doing the investigations, but as far as staffing, going out, because they the field examiners, they will oftentimes set up to meet with the fiduciaries. They have to provide whatever the requested information or documentation is to support that. So it's a lot of investigative stuff that goes hand in hand with that. And it could be a matter of, like I said, just because I'm not seeing any notes or any letters in here does not mean that it's not under review or something like that. But what I'm going to do on my end is I'm going to go ahead and put that information in, everything that you told me, and that you're reporting. I'm going to put that in on this phone call.
Okay. And
someone should be reaching out to you, but of course, I have to ask you, had you first of all contacted or tried to, attempted to contact the fiduciary?
Oh, yeah.
To discuss what's going on with your finances.
Right. Yeah, I have. He should have reported to the hub when he got assigned that I wasn't in need of the services. Like, he should be reporting monthly or whatever, like what's going on with me, where's my money at, all this shit. He's not done anything. All he's trying to do is get a check.
Okay. And the fiduciary is not the one actually that's going to be making that determination, though. So they're not going to be the ones that say, they're not going to, they can't make the determination that that you're not fit to manage your funds. That's not made on their level.
Oh, he already did that. He told me that he determined that I wasn't fit to handle my funds, and that if I didn't do what he told me to do, that he was going to get me put under conservatorship, and I went for my health and my money. So Britney Spears, trying to put me in a hospital and trying not to let me have control of any of my money. These are the threats he gives me.
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to forward that information up for you, and then hopefully, like I said, somebody should be reaching out to you. I'm going to make sure I document everything that you told me, and We'll get that submitted up to see where they are with that. Is there anything else I can assist you with this morning?
No, Tanya, thank you. I hope this works out.
I hope so. And you take care.
All right, you too.
Okay, bye-bye.